Hey, fellow Kotanas, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm reviewing WWE's WrestlePalooza. All in all, this was a very solid event, but it wasn't without its drawbacks this time around. Clash in Paris, perfect event, great event, memorable all the way through. Every match on the card delivered. Every match on this card, mainly one match, it didn't really deliver. And I think you all know what I'm talking about. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. This was pegged as the possible final match between John Cena and Brock Lesnar on John Cena's retirement tour. Is it the final match? I have to say that right now, I'd have to believe no. Reason I believe that is because we've all heard that John Cena is not going to be on any dates leading into Crown Jewel. I think that the reason for that is because, well, they're setting up the true final match for Crown Jewel, and I think it's going to be an even more physical matchup than what we've seen in the past, which is going to be hard to do because, honestly, their most physical match to me came at Extreme Rules when Lesnar returned to WWE. But at the same point in time, if this was their final match to end this rivalry the way that it did in this match, it's not gonna feel like it sits right, I think, with the fans. But all in all, if this is the way that it ends it, I guess also it kind of makes sense because when you think about it, this is John Cena's retirement tour. So he's not necessarily the John Cena from the Super Cena era or the era where when John Cena was at the top of the business and everything else. He's going out as considered as the GOAT. But facing Lesnar at this point in his career, it would make sense for him to also get beat the way that he did. However it pans out, this was definitely the weakest match on the card. Definitely. By far, it wasn't what I think the fans wanted to see from these two in their possible final matchup. I think the fans wanted to see something more memorable, something a little more back and forth, which we've seen from Lesnar and Cena before. But at the same time, I think that if this is just to set up a match for Crown Jewel, let it be. If that's the way that it is going to get set up, all right, let's see what happens. The Usos versus The Vision, which randomly turned into an Extreme Rules tag team match with LA Knight as a special guest referee saying, you want to use weapons? Use weapons. Go ahead. I didn't expect LA Knight to be the special guest referee in this match, but it was entertaining as all hell. It was a fun match. It was just fun. However, there was an accident in this match. Most people would call it a botch, call it whatever the heck you want to call it. It was an accident that happened in this match with Jay getting busted open, but it also kind of added a little bit. Sometimes we've seen it before, and a lot of fans liked it back in the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression days when there would be color added to a match or blood added to a match. This one wasn't added. This was just something that happened to happen during the course of the match, but it added that little layer of how are the Usos going to be able to beat these guys? That's kind of the way it used to be when you would see blood happen during the course of a match is, oh man, he's busted open or they're busted open. How are they going to come back from this? That was kind of this, but it was real. It happened over the course of the match. And the Vision gets the victory. It was a fun match. It's one of the more memorable matches on this card. Not in my personal top 3 matches. out of a five-match card event, but it was definitely a solid match on the card. Definitely memorable. Mixed tag team match between CM Punk and AJ Lee versus WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins and WWE Women's Intercontinental Champion, the man Becky Lynch. Great match. Rollins doing the skipping around AJ Lee, adding insult to injury, but it adds such a layer to this rivalry during the course of this match. And all in all, this match added so much more to the rivalry between Punk and Rollins, as well as Lynch and Lee. Can't wait to see that AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch Women's Intercontinental Championship match, possibly, hopefully, at Crown Jewel, but CM Punk, don't know how it's going to mix now. We're going to have to wait and see where they take that rivalry from now. Probably more than likely an interference at Crown Jewel between Rollins and Rhodes, if that's the way they're taking this, but who's to tell? You know, only time will tell on that. I mean, to me, this was the second best match on the card. I don't think that it got the upper echelon, in my view, on my scoring card. It was a great match, a memorable match, and Punk and Lee getting the win, that's the right call. That was a great match for AJ Lee to come back in, and she still got it, man. Not that I'm surprised. She is a legend for a reason. The vacant women's championship match between Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer. These two went back and forth, in the ring, out of the ring, top rope. It was devil's kiss. It was that and more. I mean, this matchup was great from top to bottom. Definitely my favorite match on the card. And to see Stephanie Vaquer win it was great. It's great that she got her women's championship at this event instead of them waiting for something else later on down the road. This was the time to do it, and they did it. They pulled the trigger. Now we wait and see what goes on moving forward. Stephanie's going to be a great champion. I mean, she was down in NXT. She'll be a great champion on the main roster. An entertaining match, a great match all the way through, and I can't wait to see how many more great matches we get out of this championship reign. The Undisputed WWE Championship between Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. This match delivered and then some. Everything that Drew McIntyre did leading into this matchup, he pretty much did to Cody in this match. But Cody also, in turn, used strategy and worked around that psychotic brutality of Drew McIntyre. That psychotic physicalness of Drew McIntyre. We already know who's got the brutality. This was definitely a great match for the main event of WrestlePalooza. And the argument can be made that, you know, some other matches on the card could have been up there, the mixed tag team match, or even the vacant women's championship match could have been the main event, but it was definitely a main event level match between Cody and Drew, and they proved it. They showcased everything and then some. I mean, Cody pulling out the victory and just everything he had to do to pull it out. This was definitely one of the better matches with Cody as undisputed WWE champion. But Drew McIntyre was a good next for Cody after the match with John Cena at SummerSlam. This was needed for Cody to have people be invested into this next championship reign for Cody Rhodes. But this was definitely one of the weaker events on the WWE PLE card. My number one match for WrestlePalooza, in my opinion, was Io Sky versus Stephanie Varaquer for the vacant women's championship. I've already said enough about that match. All is said for what those women put out there on that canvas last night. It was a great match. Real quick, my entire grade of WrestlePalooza. Sorry, but I'm going to have to put this one at a B. It wasn't quite an A. For me, Clash in Paris was actually an A++++++++. It was a really good event at Clash in Paris. This one, it hit the mark just barely, thanks to the next 4 matches that would happen on the events. But yeah, this one definitely not an A. Didn't crack the A spot for me. B works right in there for me. It satisfied what I wanted from this event, what I expected from this event, which I don't really expect a whole lot. I always like to leave my mind open going into everything, but I actually did have some expectations set for this card because I wanted to. There were certain things that I felt needed to happen that kind of didn't happen. So for me, I'm still a fan of this event. It was still a good event, but all in all, it didn't set the bar for anything moving forward. So that is my review for WWE's WrestlePalooza 2025. I thank you all so much for watching. And as always remember to imagine your dream, create your happiness, and live your life on the edge. And I will see you in that next episode. See ya.